This is Wayne here with Tri-County Locksmith Service, and I'm going to go over some of the top three, in my opinion, high security cylinders that are available out there. One is the Medeco, and one is the ASSA V-Twin 6000, and one is the Schlage Primus cylinder. When choosing a high security cylinder, you're already miles above the standard pin tumbler lock. It's just far superior, more secure, more moving parts, more complicated, and overall better for security systems. What I have to take into consideration when working with these systems is everybody wants their own system. Everybody wants their own pins. Everybody wants their own keyways and key blanks, and so working with a high security system, it all of a sudden becomes very, very expensive to run and maintain, and it becomes expensive for me. A perfect example is Medeco. I don't do Medecos that much. I don't have the pinning kits for them. I just didn't invest in their products. When I was looking over the array of high security cylinders, well, I've already got all the pins to do Primus. Schlage does their normal pins fit the pins here, so all you have to buy is this finger pin kit from Schlage right here, and then you're set up to do that. It's about $300, and then you're set up to do the Primus system. So that was the first step into it, and then a more custom system, something with a little more security added to it, is the ASSA system. And I was really looking at the two. I was looking at Medeco and ASSA and seeing what I really wanted to do, and just looking at the pinning kits for Medeco was just starting to drive me nuts. I mean, here's a perfect example. This is right out of my book, and the pinning kits alone, here's an ASSA pinning kit, okay, $857 right there for the pinning kit, for this pinning kit that everything's sitting on right here. That seems expensive. Well, come to the Medeco one, where all of a sudden your pinning kits are $898, and then you have to buy three different ones. You have a large pinning kit, you have a medium pinning kit, and a small pinning kit, a cam switch kit, a wafer pin kit. I mean, you can spend $2,500 just in different pinning kits for the Medeco series. And then because of the different cuts that you have on there, the right and the left cuts, you're just making twice as much work for yourself with twice as many pins, because even though this pin is the same length, it has to be designated as a right or left cut or a center cut. So I started to look at that and realized that that was not the route that I wanted to go with these guys. So I went with the ASSA system, and I've been more than happy with it. They're great. I think they're, we'll break these down one by one, and we'll see exactly what we've got going on in each one of these. But I think ASSA has the perfect balance. They're easy to rekey, they're easy to master key, their pinning kit is not that complicated, and the security of their locks is more than Medeco's even, I think. You know, Medeco has a huge name, and with a huge name you have a huge target on your back. So now you've got people like this Tobias guy. Look him up. Look up DEFCON high security locks bypassed in 30 seconds or something like that on YouTube, and you'll see that guy just attack Medeco to death. For you know, they're saying you can get into their locks with credit cards. You can just take a picture of the key, cut out a credit card that looks like that, and with a paper clip, and pop these things open. And these are supposed to be securing our government. You know, I haven't seen any videos like that out on these. So that's another reason that I went with them. Whenever you're the biggest and the best, or supposedly the best, you get a big target on your back. That Tobias guy also has a video of a 12-year-old girl. Look up 12-year-old girl lock bumping or something like that. And a 12-year-old girl lock bumps a Medeco cylinder here. And, you know, things like that, they are out there. How much truth to them? I don't know. I've never lock bumped one. I've never picked one. I've never wanted to. As soon as I see Medeco, my mind is on money and how long it's going to take to get past it. I'm not going to play around with it. I'm just going to drill it out and bypass it. So that's my theory on it. So we'll take this apart and we'll start off with the key. The way Medeco works with their key control access system is these side cuts. Basically you have not just up and down cuts, but they're actually like so and so and so. They're actually cross cut. And then the pins that are in here match that. So Medeco's whole claim to fame, and they were great in the 70s and 80s, and even up into the 90s, but now it's just kind of old technology. Their claim to fame is this lift and raise technology here. So you can see they lift and turn right here, and you can see the angle cuts. So this is what's going on inside this lock. And it is very, very difficult to defeat, but there's just too much, maybe out there. Maybe they are getting defeated easily. Maybe they are, you know, not the best system to go with out there. So when we pull this apart, what we're going to see is brass pins, okay? That's going to be important because in the ASSA lock, everything is stainless steel. Stainless steel, you cannot drill with a regular drill bit. Hardened stainless steel will not drill with any regular drill bit that you can buy at Home Depot or Lowe's, or even cobalt drill bits or any of that stuff. You have to have a specific type of drill bit to be able to drill stainless steel. A regular drill bit will drill through these. They do have 3 hardened inserts here that are stainless steel to prevent drilling. So it's going to veer your drill bit off from side to side. However, if you get by those, the rest of the lock is vulnerable. It is difficult to get by those, by the way. It is. But once you've bypassed that, the rest of the lock is very, very vulnerable. Whereas, and then you've got the sidebar. So what the sidebar does is it prevents tension being put on the lock with a tension wrench, and you being able to bind the pins. So, you know, that's where picking comes in, where some people say they picked them. Maybe they have. I don't know. That's not really what we're after here. What we're after is the main sources of attack: key control and forced entry. So right now, that's what the Medeco has going for it. It does not have stainless steel pins. It only has stainless steel inserts to prevent the pins from being drilled out. ASSA has the stainless steel pin inserts, which we'll take a look at right here. My sidebar doesn't blow out. So ASSA has some of the same features. It has the sidebar here, but it actually, instead of the top pins dictating when the sidebar falls into place, it's actually 5 separate pins down here called finger pins, and that's what dictates that. But each one of the top pins is all stainless steel. Each one of the top pins inside here is all stainless steel. Each one, there's a stainless steel insert down here, and there's a stainless steel insert here, and there's a stainless steel insert protecting the sidebar here. So that makes this lock very, very difficult. It's not just one spot. They've guarded this whole thing, and even if you get past those, all the finger pins are all stainless steel, and all the key pins are stainless steel, and all the top pins are stainless steel. So you're just going to fight this thing to the bitter end. It is going to be the nastiest lock you ever drill out. That's how I became a fan, because I hadn't come across them before, and then I did, and I had to get into one, and it was a nightmare. It was very nasty. I've since got some better tools and better tricks for that now, but the first time, trust me, it was not a pleasant experience dealing with this. I got into the Medecos much quicker than these. So that's why I'm saying the ASSAs are one of my, they're my pick, really. The other thing is the heavy-duty key, okay? You can see the thickness of the keys here, and you can see the extra heavy dutiness of the ASSA key. Hopefully you can see that in the background there. Let's see. And you can see that extra thick key. You do not want high security keys to break off in the keyway, which can happen pretty easily. I mean, all it takes is one cold morning or ice or something bind up in there, and somebody turns too hard, they're having a bad morning, twist the key off in there. You're going to talk about a long day. Try and get a key picked out of one of these high security cylinders. It's not fun. So that extra heavy duty key is a huge factor. The other thing is the twin technology. The finger pins interact with this, and the top pins interact here. I think that's a more secure system than just the side twisting pins of the Medeco. This offers more ways for the lock to bind. And I'll show you some different pins in this ASSA pinning kit. You can see these are the stainless steel top pins. They have serrations on them. Okay, so each one of those serrations is designed to catch as you attempt to pick it, and then the finger pins that go on the side. The little slot is called the gate. Okay, and the gate, and each one of these is serrated as well. So if you try and mess with these at all, there's just so many binding and grabbing points in here that it just creates a very difficult system to pick. So that is the biggest reason I really like the ASSA system. The top pins also interact with the bottom pins in size. So you don't just have all the same size of top pins. They actually interact with it. You have to match the bottom pin with the top pin to create a more rigid shear line, or a more consistent shear line inside the lock. Makes the tolerances tighter, makes everything more and more difficult to get into. So those are the main reasons I picked that over this. And then we'll move on to the Primus. Okay, the Primus is very similar to the ASSA system. It's got side cuts here, and it's got the main cuts up here. There's your Primus cylinder. But what Primus did not do, and what they did not address, is the drilling issue. They've addressed it's actually a very similar system, what they use for their sidebar system, these finger pins down here, as what ASSA uses. It's almost identical. There's a couple differences, whereas you match the finger pins to match the sidebar code on the Primus, and you actually match the sidebar to the standard codes that are on the ASSA. But either way, it really doesn't matter. Let's see if I can get a spring for this here. Either way, they're both very tricky designs and have their own advantages. The Primus system is, I feel, more pick resistant still than even the Medecos. That's just the way I feel about it. It's all a matter of personal opinion. What they didn't do is they didn't add any stainless steel inserts, where the Medeco has them here, and then the ASSA has them here, sidebar protection, other side protection, and then each pin is all stainless steel. You could build this lock to have all stainless steel pins. However, it would not. It's not fair to say that, because then you're not comparing factory to factory. Factory to factory, this is a very great, very pick resistant, very good lock. However, it does not have the drill attack resistance that the other two have, and this, I feel, doesn't have the bump key and the pick resistance that this has. So all put together, the ASSA is the one that I go with for right now as a strictly high security mechanical lock. One of the things that is becoming exciting in the industry of high security is the addition of electronics. It works like a car key, where you have to have a very high security system. ASSA has the click system, and your key is actually programmed. So you have a high security mechanical key, and then you actually have a electronic sensor, like a transponder, like what would be in your car. And they're integrating that into these locks. And then Medeco has their logic program. Multi-Lock is using the click program as well. I don't know if Primus has one yet. But that is the next level of security, where you're adding a mechanical feature with an electronic feature and fusing them together. That's the ultimate in high security, because no matter what, if you make a big target and make a big deal out of these mechanical systems, anything that's been built mechanically can be bypassed, or can be duplicated, or can be there's always a way around it. And Medeco's a prime example. Mr. Tobias has just made it his lifelong goal to just keep hammering these guys, and that's what he's devoted all his time to. And when you have somebody that's that devoted, they find ways around your ultra high secure system, whether it's true or whether Medeco believes it or not, or whether all that system is true, is yet to be seen. But the information out there is not trustworthy. It's not reassuring to make sure that when you buy that system and you have it on a high security government or correctional facility, that you've got a 100% secure system. That's just my personal feeling. Everything is getting better, and technology is advancing. So that's my opinion for right now. I go with the ASSAs, and we'll just see what happens from there. For more information, go to www.tricountylocksmithservice.com.